You've tried everything, haven't you? Being patient, being kind, giving them space, explaining your heart over and over, hoping this time they'll finally get it. And yet, the harder you try, the faster they vanish. It's like you're chasing a shadow. Every step closer only makes them slip further into the dark. But here's the part that twists the knife. Deep down, you know they feel something for you. You see it in the way their eyes linger, in the small moments when their walls drop for just a second, and then, just like that, they pull away again, leaving you questioning everything. Are they ever going to love me back? Or am I just wasting my time? Now, what if I told you something that would flip your entire understanding of them upside down? What if the avoidant who keeps running from you isn't running from you at all? What if they're actually waiting, secretly hoping that you'll do the one thing that makes their defenses collapse and their desire come alive? Because here's the brutal, beautiful truth. Avoidants don't run from love. They run from the fear that love will consume them. Every chase, every plea, every emotional outburst confirms their deepest terror, that getting close means losing control. But when you know how to respond differently, when you shift your energy in one simple counterintuitive way, their brain literally changes. The fear that once made them hide transforms into curiosity. And the same avoidant who once slipped through your fingers begins doing something you never thought possible. They start chasing you. Not because you begged, not because you played games, but because for the first time in their life, they feel safe enough to. Loving an avoidant is like chasing a mirage in the desert. You see the water shimmering in the distance, you run toward it with everything you have, but the moment you reach out, it disappears. You're left thirsty, exhausted, wondering if it was ever real. Or maybe it feels like hugging someone through glass. You can see them. You can sense the warmth of their presence. You know deep down that they want to press against you just as much as you want to press against them. But no matter how close you get, there's always that invisible barrier, keeping your love an inch away from their skin. That's the tragedy of avoidant psychology. They're not cold. They're not heartless. They're armored. And the cruel irony, they built that armor long before you arrived. Every wall you feel today was constructed in a childhood where closeness meant pain, where needing someone meant disappointment, where love equaled danger. Their nervous system is literally wired to translate intimacy as threat. So when you reach for them, even with tenderness, their body screams, protect, run, escape. It's like trying to dance with someone who keeps stepping back. You move forward, they retreat. You hold out your hand, they freeze. And yet watch closely, their eyes betray the truth. They want the dance, they ache for the rhythm. But their fear of losing control is stronger than their desire for closeness. Here's the secret most people miss. The harder you try to break through the glass, the thicker it becomes. Every plea, every chase, every attempt to prove your love only convinces them that being close means being consumed. But when you stop pounding on the door, when you step back and let them see you shining in your own life, something shifts. For the first time, the glass doesn't feel like protection. It feels like prison. They start noticing the distance they created. They start wondering what it would feel like to be closer. And in that moment, curiosity replaces fear. Desire replaces defense. That's when the paradox ignites. The very person who once pulled away begins leaning in, not because you forced the lock open, but because they finally feel safe enough to unlock it themselves. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt two people staring back at you? That's the avoidant. One part of them says, I don't need you. I'm fine on my own. The other part screams in silence, please don't let me go. This is not just confusion. It's a civil war inside their nervous system. Imagine a soldier who has survived too many battles. Every time you reach out with love, their body reacts as if you're pointing a weapon at them. Their brain translates intimacy into danger. Their chest tightens. Their instincts scream, run. And yet, in the stillness of night, when no one is watching, the same avoidant scrolls through old messages, replays your voice in their head, and aches for the warmth they keep pushing away. They are trapped in a paradox. The love they want the most feels like the fire they fear the most. That's why they'll kiss you with trembling lips, but then vanish without a word. That's why they'll share their secrets at 2 a.m., only to wake up distant, cold, unreachable. It's not about you. It never was. It's the battlefield within them, where one half begs to stay, and the other half begs to run. And here's the painful truth. The more you chase, the louder the runner becomes. Your devotion doesn't calm them. It alarms them. Every "I love you" they hear when they're unready feels like pressure, like chains. But when you step back, when you breathe and let go, something shocking happens. The dreamer inside them, the part that secretly longs to be held, begins to stir. They start to wonder, why isn't she chasing me? Why isn't he begging for my time anymore? And suddenly, the fear of losing you outweighs the fear of being close to you. This is the twisted irony of the avoidant heart. They can't come closer when you pull them in, but they can't stay away when you let them go. And that's when it hits them. The same avoidant who once swore, "I don't need anyone," now whispers to themselves, "What if the only thing I really needed was you?" Avoidants don't fall for words. They don't chase because you cry, beg, or explain. They chase when something inside them gets triggered silently, invisibly. And if you understand these hidden keys, you'll notice something shocking. The same person who runs away from you will be the one chasing you. Trigger 1, scarcity reversal. Let me give you a picture. You're standing in the desert, dying of thirst. A man offers you a cup of water. Every second, without fail. At first you drink, but soon, you don't even want it. Why? Because abundance kills desire. That's exactly what happens when you're always available to an avoidant. But the day you step back, when you don't text first, when you don't instantly reply, suddenly, their nervous system panics. Wait, what changed? Did I lose them? I remember a guy who stopped pouring all his energy into his avoidant girlfriend. He didn't vanish, he just stopped chasing. Within days, she started calling, checking his socials, asking where he'd been. That's scarcity reversal. Desire is born not when they have you, but when they risk losing you. Trigger 2, emotional regulation. Avoidants aren't scared of love, they're scared of emotional chaos. When you cry, argue, demand answers, they shut down. But when you stay calm, when your presence feels steady, peaceful, unshakable, their walls begin to tremble. One woman told me her avoidant partner always disappeared after fights, but one day, she tried something different. Instead of chasing, she calmly said, "I care for you. Take the space you need. I'll be here when you're ready." For the first time, he didn't vanish for weeks, he came back in hours. Why? Because her calmness regulated his storm. Remember this, to an avoidant, your calm is more attractive than your beauty. Safety feels sexier than drama. Trigger 3, the safety test. Deep down, every avoidant is asking, can I trust you with my freedom? Will you punish me if I pull away? If your love feels like a trap, they'll run. But if your love feels like freedom, they'll return. I once knew a couple where the man always disappeared after intimacy. His partner stopped blaming him. She gave him space without resentment. Slowly he came back faster each time. Eventually, he stopped running altogether. That's the safety test. When they realize you're not here to cage them, but to let them breathe, they finally choose you willingly. And here's the paradox that flips everything. The less you try to hold them, the tighter they hold on to you. The calmer you are, the more they trust. The freer you make them, the closer they come. Not because you played games, but because you became the one thing their nervous system was starving for, a love that doesn't suffocate. Here's the brutal truth. Avoidants don't run from you because they don't love you. They run because they do. Sounds twisted? That's because it is. This is the paradox no one prepares you for. The more you give an avoidant your love, the less they can receive it. The less you give, the more they crave it. It's like pouring water into a glass with invisible cracks. The harder you pour, the faster it leaks. But when you stop pouring, suddenly they panic. Suddenly they scramble to hold on to every single drop. That's the avoidant nervous system. Love feels like suffocation. Distance feels like safety, but safety creates longing, and longing pulls them right back toward you. I remember a story about a man who loved his avoidant girlfriend like she was his oxygen. He texted every morning, reassured her every night, fought to prove he'd never leave. And what happened? She ran. She ghosted him, said she needed space. He was crushed, until one day he stopped. No more chasing, no more proving. He lived, he laughed, he became light. And do you know what she did? She showed up at his door, not once, again and again. Her words, "I don't know why, but I just feel like I'm losing you, and I can't." That's the paradox. When he stopped making her his world, she finally wanted to belong to his world. Psychologists call this approach avoidance conflict. The avoidant brain is torn in two. If I get too close, I'll lose myself. If I stay too far, I'll lose you. And here's the shocking part. They can only resolve that battle when they feel you're not chasing. When they feel your energy lean back, their fear of engulfment quiets down, and suddenly their fear of losing you roars louder. And this is why the paradox is the golden key. The moment you stop running after your avoidant is the exact moment they start running after you. Not because you tricked them, not because you played a game, but because you shifted the balance of fear. The day you no longer make them your lifeline is the day they make you theirs. Here quotes the brutal truth. Avoidants don't run from you because they don't love you. They run because they do. Sounds twisted, that's because it is. This is the paradox no one prepares you for. The more you give an avoidant your love, the less they can receive it. The less you give, the more they crave it. It's like pouring water into a glass with invisible cracks. The harder you pour, the faster it leaks. But when you stop pouring, suddenly they panic. Suddenly they scramble to hold on to every single drop. That's the avoidant nervous system. Love feels like suffocation. Distance feels like safety. But safety creates longing, and longing pulls them right back toward you. I remember a story about a man who loved his avoidant girlfriend like she was his oxygen. He texted every morning, reassured her every night, fought to prove he'd never leave. And what happened? She ran. She ghosted him, said she needed space. He was crushed, until one day he stopped. No more chasing, no more proving. He lived, he laughed, he became light. And do you know what she did? She showed up at his door, not once, again and again. Her words, "I don't know why, but I just feel like I'm losing you, and I can't." That's the paradox. When he stopped making her his world, she finally wanted to belong to his world. Psychologists call this approach avoidance conflict. The avoidant brain is torn in two. If I get too close, I'll lose myself. If I stay too far, I'll lose you. And here's the shocking part. They can only resolve that battle when they feel you're not chasing. When they feel your energy lean back, their fear of engulfment quiets down, and suddenly their fear of losing you roars louder. And this is why the paradox is the golden key. The moment you stop running after your avoidant is the exact moment they start running after you. Not because you tricked them, not because you played a game, but because you shifted the balance of fear. The day you no longer make them your lifeline is the day they make you theirs. Most people think an avoidant pulls away because they don't want love, but the truth, their nervous system is screaming for safety. Every time you text twice in a row, every time you chase their silence with explanations, every time you push just a little harder, their body reads it as a threat. Their chest tightens, their heart races. Stress hormones flood their system. It's not that they don't like you, it's that their biology is convinced it's drowning, Now here's the twist that flips everything. When you stop chasing, when you pull back just slightly, their entire body experiences a neurobiological reset. The fire alarm in their chest quiets down. The nervous system shifts out of fight or flight, and suddenly, you are no longer danger. You are calm, and in that calm, something awakens inside them that shocks even them: desire. Think of it like this. If someone has been running for miles, gasping for breath, the last thing they can handle is someone grabbing their arm and asking for more energy. But the moment you let them sit, drink water, and catch their breath, suddenly they have the space to realize, I don't want to run anymore. I want to stay. That's what happens inside an avoidant when you stop forcing closeness. Space doesn't kill attraction. It ignites it. A man once confessed to me, when she stopped flooding me with calls and just smiled at me from across the room, I couldn't stop thinking about her. For the first time, I felt safe enough to miss her, and missing her made me realize I needed her. Read that again: safe enough to miss her. That's the entire shift. Without safety, their body can't even process love. But with safety, love becomes irresistible. And here's the shocking realization. The less you force, the more their nervous system relaxes. The more it relaxes, the more they can finally feel. And when they feel, they don't run, they chase. That's why the key to making your avoidant chase you has nothing to do with games. It's not strategy. It's not manipulation. It's biology. Because the moment you step back, their body steps forward. Their silence turns into longing, and the one who always ran starts running towards you. Here's the most shocking twist about avoidance. The very moment you stop running after them is the moment they finally realize you're the one worth chasing. And here's the irony. It was never their silence that hurt you. It was the meaning you gave to it. You thought they're pulling away because I'm not enough. But what if I told you their distance wasn't punishment? It was preparation. Think of silence not as a locked door, but as a pause in music. Without the pause, the melody loses its beauty. Without the space, the song collapses into noise. Your avoidant needs that pause to hear their own heartbeat. But here's where the magic happens. When you stop filling the silence with chasing, begging, explaining, you allow them to finally feel your absence. And absence is the birthplace of desire. This is the beautiful irony. The less you need them, the more they need you. The less you cling, the closer they lean. The less you demand, the more they offer. Because love for an avoidant cannot be forced. It can only be chosen. And choice only exists when there's space to feel it. So here's your reframe. Silence is not rejection. It's the moment they start noticing what life feels like without your warmth. Distance is not abandonment. It's the mirror that shows them who truly matters. And your calm, that's not weakness. It's power. Because calmness whispers to their nervous system, you are safe with me. Imagine this. You step back, stop chasing, stop explaining. You simply breathe. And suddenly, for the first time, they're left alone with the echo of your absence. At first it feels like relief to them. But slowly, that relief turns into emptiness. And that emptiness, that's when the chase begins. So remember this grand truth. You don't win by proving your worth. You win by embodying it. And the second you stop running, they realize they're the ones who have been running all along. That's the irony. That's the shift. That's when silence stops being a wound and becomes your weapon. At the end of the day, it all comes down to one choice. You can keep chasing someone who only runs faster the closer you get, or you can finally step back, breathe, and become the kind of person they can't stop chasing. Because here's the truth. Love isn't about how tightly you hold. It's about how much space you can give without fear. The avoidant doesn't start chasing when you prove your worth. They start chasing when you embody it. When your silence speaks louder than their distance. When your calm feels safer than their chaos. So I'll leave you with this question. Do you want to spend your life proving yourself to someone's fear? Or do you want to step into a version of yourself so magnetic, so unshakable, that their fear has no choice but to surrender to your presence? That's the paradox. That's the power. And that's the exact moment the chase finally flips. If this message hit you deep, don't just sit with it. Hit the like button, drop a comment telling me your story, and subscribe for more truths no one dares to say out loud. Because remember, you were never the one chasing love. Love was always waiting to start chasing you.